We arrived in Rio de Janeiro in mid-morning. As soon as we collected our people and our gear, we went to the buses and began our tour almost immediately.
We are in a few weeks, we have our carnival time. So maybe today we'll see any people dancing on the street. Maybe you will see some people using costumes, something like that, maybe.
We stopped briefly at the hotel and then went directly to the Sugarloaf Mountain for a look at the panoramic view of Rio.
Around this area. And that represents the Catholic Church and St. Catholic and Apostolic Church.
On Monday, we went to see the Christ the Redeemer statue atop the Corcovado mountain overlooking Rio. We ascended the mountain on an electric train. Followed by an elevator and steps to the base of the 99-foot statue. The wonderful view from the Christ the Redeemer shows the grandeur of the tropical paradise that is home to 6 million people. We visited the small chapel below the statue before heading down. From Rio, we flew to Iguazu Falls on the border between Brazil and Argentina, a pleasant hotel, and a great buffet, followed by a variety show of South American dancing. Wednesday, we crossed the border into Argentina. The national park involved a train ride and a lot of wildlife before getting to the actual falls. About midday, we switched to the Brazilian side, enjoying even more wildlife and flowers. And even more waterfalls. From Iguazu Falls, we flew to the capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires. And we're on the city tour the next morning.
And we head to Palermo and then Recoleta Cemetery.
I've decided I should decline all the honors and titles you've pressed me to take. is the woman who brings her people to the heart of peril. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I shall not leave you, though it make it harder.
She's with her brother, her sister, and her brother-in-law, who was a former senator, the one who could afford to buy the plot in this cemetery, only occupied by the wealthy people. As you may know, the Duarte family, so her family, was a rather poor, coming from the Buenos Aires countryside, so they couldn't have afforded to buy this plot unless the Evita brother-in-law, put the money, invested the money to do it.
That the building.
Okay.
Later in the day, we proceeded to another restaurant that featured a great meal and professional tango dancing. On Saturday, we embarked on a leisurely tour to Uruguay, just across the river from Buenos Aires. This is the Colonia del Sacramento, the oldest town in Uruguay and a World Heritage Site. Ownership of the city has changed hands 12 times, from 1680 to 1828. We enjoyed our tour of this old town. The lighthouse, built on the ruins of the convent of San Francisco, offers a great view of the city. After a week on the east coast of South America, we flew to the west coast, first to Lima, Peru, and then to Cuzco. The 12,000 feet altitude is a big change, and most of us drank the coca tea. The tour began in earnest the next morning.
Cusco, as you know, 600 years ago, more or less, was the capital of the Inca Empire. Like the biggest and the strongest empire ever found here in South America.
Sacsayhuaman is a walled complex in the steep hills northeast of Cuzco. Much of it has been destroyed, but it is known for its unique construction using large boulders, carefully cut to fit like a jigsaw without mortar.
The type of stone that we have right here is limestone. That means that we don't need any iron or steel, hammer ones, to do the carving of them. What we should do is basically to look for whatever other type of a contact stone. In this case, should work.
Just east of Sacsayhuaman are the ruins of an underground temple, Kenko at Padalacta. This is the way to the halls of sacrifice, still left. Here is the way to the sanctuary where animals were sacrificed or mummified. This is the Plaza de Armas in downtown Cuzco. Two of the largest Inca palaces were destroyed by the Spanish, and the convent of Santo Domingo was built over Caricancha.
Very pretty.
Peruvian specialties were on the menu that night at the Tunupa restaurant in downtown Cuzco. After a citywide blackout, we enjoyed the food, music, and the dancing. The next day, we went deeper into the sacred valley of the Incas. After passing many rural areas, we arrived at Chinchero for a demonstration of the ancient natural techniques involved in wool and alpaca fibers, cleaning, dyeing, and weaving the unique patterns of the highland Quechua.
What she's showing is sarta. It's a wild plant that they found way up there on the mountain. And then they peel the root, and that's the natural soap.
Oh.
They're going to use to wash.
To wash the wool. Comando. Yeah.
Very good.
See, that was the plant.
Más conocido es Inca shampoo.
Inca shampoo.
Yeah, because also they wash their hair with just with plants. Yeah. If you notice, they have lots of hair.
They have very pretty hair.
Black hair.
It's very,
Just like that.
wow.
Y ahora voy a agregar un poco de cochinilla.
Yeah.
So Vilma is going to pour something of cochineal in powder. And in the other,
Media hora, mamá.
half an hour, have to boil cochineal to fix very well the color.
Already she's thinking about the patterns that they would like to fix on the textile. If they will be on the fields, checking the fields, she will look for a little tree where she can tie the loom. All right, and she will be weaving, doing the textile. Those are making, those are pointy, and look what she will make. And now let's see how much of this textile she did.
Aquí está lo que la danza.
¿Qué tiempo? ¿Qué tiempo ya avanzó?
Está avanzando de
Next was a visit to Ollantaytambo, a city and Inca site about 40 miles northwest of Cusco and the former royal estate of an Incan emperor. It was also a stronghold for the Inca when the Spanish began conquering Peru. It defended the way to Machu Picchu. We stopped at the Casa Alhambra Hacienda restaurant in Urubamba for a buffet lunch on the way to Pisac, where we did some shopping at the marketplace. Nightfall took us to a trendy little restaurant in a Cusco mall called Fusiones. The next morning, we got up early to take the train from Cusco to Aguas Calientes. Once we were at Aguas Calientes, we had to walk through the market for a little while over the river, and then we got to the bus for the trip to the mountaintop.
Wow, that is quite long. That looks like a train
Everybody, this is the first time you are coming here, so everything is new for you. I think we are still very lucky with this weather today. It's still nice. Fortunately, we have a beautiful day. But let me to tell you this, it rains a lot in Machu Picchu. We are in the rainy season right now, and sometimes the weather is totally different. Machu Picchu can be considered like one of the most authentic, the most original Inca towns, not from that time that we still see nowadays. But the character look at the water.
This is the royal residence of the Incas.
Get out of my way, I'm coming through.
After we came down from Machu Picchu, we had a mid-afternoon luncheon in Aguascalientes at a very nice hotel. Our timing was very good, as we just missed the heavy rain. Then it was back to the train and Cusco. We were up early in the morning to catch a 5:30 flight to Iquitos in the Peruvian Amazon. Iquitos, at about 400,000 people, is the largest city in the world, inaccessible by land. We flew over Amazon swampland to arrive in an area that was once a rubber-producing area. These little gas-sipping moto cars dominate the area.
We're going past by the market, you're going to feel a little bit of the activity.
We then stopped and got out at Exploramos Port on the river to catch a boat to Ceiba Tops, our hotel on the Amazon.
You are near to the forest, anything showing in here might be beautiful bird, maybe toucan, who knows?
All meals were in the central dining area, and individual rooms were scattered along this tropical forest path. Our guide was right. We did see a lot of things along the way. We traveled to two native rivereños tribes. All trips took a boat ride. The first was to a primitive indigenous tribe that lives the way they always have. The kids just loved the candy. Then danced for us in their rainforest hut. next trip was to a community that has a more Spanish influence. They still live in the rainforest, but they have more contact with the outside.
Muy bien.
Esto es un saludo de amistad.
¡Qué bien!
Haremos posibles para ser buenos amigos. ¿Cómo están, mis amigos? ¿Cómo están?
Muy bien.
Not part of our program, right? This is something we're doing out of our schedule.
So both your eyes turn in.
Our last stop was at Indiana, a former Franciscan mission on the river. Today, it is the governmental center of the region and a place where tribes can sell their foodstuff for the things that they need. The community is getting built up with sports, religious, and other amenities. After our visit, we reversed our plans, taking the boats to Iquitos, flying to Lima, and from there back home. We were very tired, but with wonderful memories.